Hey folks, welcome to Starting Why. This is a new podcast. Actually, it's a cooperation between this amazing here, Michelle. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
And me, Joern. Actually, you are based in Silicon Valley, right?
Yes.
And I'm based in Frankfurt, so this is a transatlantic recording. Not sure which way around it goes. Maybe it's also a trans-Pacific recording. I'm not sure about the data flow here.
I'm really, really excited about this.
Yeah, me too. Let us first talk a little bit about you because you're obviously the lady, and you also run a radio dash podcast show. How is it
Yeah.
called, and what are you doing there?
Yes. So it's called Laptop Radio. I'm a host and producer of there. It's a Stanford University show. And I've been there for a couple of years. Actually, it started because one day I just wanted to do something scary. Actually, I do that every year. And that particular year, I just wanted to be known, not to be famous, but just be known because I didn't really care about it. So I want to do something scary. And I did. And of course, the universe answered that. And the rest is history.
I, I was actually wearing a pretty broad smile. You cannot see that because it's an audio only podcast. Because I was thinking, okay, this year, no Halloween. So you had to start another podcast as a scary thing, right?
Absolutely.
But the your podcast, your radio show is not the first thing you're doing in business. I've stalked you in the past on LinkedIn, and actually you've done a lot of stuff before. What did you do before you got into podcasting, radio hosting?
Sure. I was a technical writer and web developer in college. And then I became a lawyer. So I was a lawyer working in legal stuff at a couple of different companies. So one of the last one was PayPal. I was there for 6 years as their commercial counsel. And I decided to do something scary. So I quit my job and wanted to do and build companies. So I do a lot of startup stuff. Also did a crypto company and payment startup back in 2014, 2015. Volunteered at a lot of AI companies. One of them is actually distributed computation. The other startups are projects are AI related. So both AI, lovingai.org and Robots Without Borders. And I also tutored AP biology and history for a education startup as well.
Sounds like you're pretty busy normally, right?
No, I think I just distributed my time better because I don't watch TV. So I just kind of gear toward doing the stuff that I love. So, I mean, I feel like in the past when I'm working on my startup, when I volunteer, the volunteer projects are startups related or AI related because I feel like we can help the world using technology. And, the commercial projects don't need help because they all make money or paid anyways. And I just wanted to distribute my time wisely. So I tend to work on projects that I love. And I feel like media is really important because you're educating in a way and you're raising consciousness in another way.
I see. See, I have to admit, when I was younger, Germany still had the draft, and you could either decide to spend your time in barracks getting drunk every evening, or you could do something else called national service. That's what I did. And I was an EMT for 1 year, and then I was a volunteer. I was working during the weekends and the holidays at university, where I was not having lessons for, I do believe, in total almost 7 years, and it also gave me a lot. Unfortunately, I had to stop it when I started with consulting, because when you're flying out of Germany Monday morning, when you're flying back in Thursday or Friday, you
Yeah.
totally need the weekend to recover. Otherwise, you're soon be either a zombie or dead.
Wow. How was consulting for you, and how is that different from podcasting?
Um, hmm. Sometimes sometimes it really feels like it is the same. You have deadlines, you make plans, you make projects. On the other hand, I realize I only do podcasting that way because I was trained as a consultant. So,
Yeah.
for me, it's like a lot of very short-term projects, the podcasting.
Mhm.
I really like to meet new people, to talk to them, and get very, very different input. So
Mhm.
I'm hosting a startup podcast here in Germany called Startuprad.io. What we do is bringing the German startup scene to the world in English. Everything we do is in English. Our social media posts, yes, of course, there's sometimes typos in there, um, as well as audio and video recording. And for like 70 to 90% of the startups I'm talking to is their first content ever in English. So if you search for them before, you would not find anything. If you search for them afterwards, you will at least find my interview. And I try to make it between somewhere 25 to 45 minutes, the interviews. Of course, all in English. Video and audio is your choice, what you like.
Mhm.
And bring the startups to the world, as I say, which was actually very funny because a few weeks back, one of the startups actually shared our interview and wrote about us. For 6 years now, Startuprad.io is the authority on German startups. And I was going, yes.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you very
Quite an
much.
accomplishment.
I actually do a lot of tracking and searching what people are writing about our podcast. And right now we have been more than 2,300 days in some type of podcast charts, maybe Stitcher, iTunes, or Chartable.com's own podcast charts. But I really like that, especially that people in at least 41 countries downloaded and subscribed us into their podcast charts. Of course, they're like the usual suspects, like Germany, of course, the US, the UK, Canada, but also some really surprising places where there's interest in German startups. I'm talking like South Korea, Paraguay, or Zimbabwe.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I've seen John's stats. He's impressive with numbers. I don't know if that comes from his consulting work, but his charting is super awesome. I was like, wow, this looks very impressive. I mean, it's one of the best. I've seen a lot of deck, of course, right, as an advisor to so many startups, and and then I looked at John's deck, and with a bunch of numbers and stats, it's awesome. It's like one of the best I think I've seen.
You cannot see it, but I'm dancing here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Awesome.
Gosh, I love innovation, and I know that you do too.
Yes, and actually, this is the first episode of our joint podcast. We will co-host it. Sometimes you, sometimes me. And we are also going to interview startups for this, right?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I love talking to startups, and I think that's one of the reason this is called Starting Why. Why do we call it Starting Why, John?
There are some legal issues involved in here, like trademarks and stuff like this. But actually, the best reason is we've been talking, having a lot of fun. I had a beer, and then we had some ideas bouncing back and forth. We want to go for something starting X, and I was going, why don't we call it starting Y?
Yeah, and I thought Starting Why is really cool because, like, don't you ask why? Like, why are you starting that? Why? So why are we starting this?
Because it's an interesting opportunity. I like that you like my jokes.
Oh my gosh, he has a good sense of humor, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I try to. Usually, you say that Germans don't have a sense of humor. That's not true. We just hide it really good.
I just had it really good. It's one of the funniest things is that when like I was at PayPal, for example, and we did a 360 feedback, and one of my salesperson was like, Michelle is way too serious all the time, right? And I was just like, I'm your attorney. Of course I'm serious. But outside of that, I could be silly. So isn't that funny though? Like how people have different sides. Like when you're at work, like at my, as an attorney, I have to be serious. But otherwise, I have a sense of humor too.
Oh yeah, of course. But actually that is something like about expectations because if you have a smiling, always happy lawyer there, you could not take this person serious. So it's really something you just expect from lawyers, right?
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, I
But
think in the same category they're like accountants, notaries, what else is there? Trustees, those people, right?
yeah, they have to be always serious, and judges as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Even though sometimes what pops up in my news apps or in the German media, sometimes I do believe there's some judges there that do have a sense of humor.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could be really good and have a sense of humor, but I think people just kind of judge you differently. Like if you're a girl, you're not that smart, or a woman, and it's kind of depends. I think it's different now. It's a different world. Everyone is the same and different, so it really depends on who you are.
Yes, it does. By the way, we are merging kind of a German part and an American part here. So actually, that also happens in my life because we are publishing this on Thanksgiving Day. Happy Turkey Day, by the way. That is actually something when I was in college in the US, I really liked and I kind of brought back. So we are going to have during the weekend after Thanksgiving, because it's not a public holiday here in Germany, we do have a turkey here as well. I'm making it, and it never burned yet. And then we actually start making Christmas cookies, Plätzchen.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow. So I've seen John's Instagram account, his personal one, and it has a lot of yummy pictures. So
I,
follow him.
I was actually pretty lazy recently that I did not post all the pictures of all the stuff that I was preparing. By the way, I posted for you a recipe for Glühwein, German mild wine that you
I
have to.
saw, yeah, I saw that, and I was about to give it to my brother so he can make it for me. 'Cause I thought you would love that. I'm a level 0.5 cook. So I've recently gotten an air fryer. And I know entrepreneurs love this because, when we talk about starting why, you just have to start somewhere. So I don't know how to cook, just because I've been kind of working and super busy, and I was, kind of working through lunch and dinner most of the time. So I got an air fryer. A friend suggested it because I don't cook, and because of COVID, I've been going to these drive-through every day. So my friend was just like, get an air fryer, and so I did. And then there was an article that says where 10 things to buy at Trader Joe. So I did that. Like, can you imagine a lady like just looking through an article to buy food because she just really doesn't know? So I did that as well. So I bought like $150 worth of food and with my air fryer, and experimented with it, just kind of like a tech experiment, like a startup. So I did that, and it worked really well. So I've been cooking, but I haven't made any drinks yet. So I'm gonna leave that to my brother and learn from him. um and it's kind of cool because, like, I think I just changed my mindset, from, oh, I'm gonna cook, to, oh, this is gonna be a technical experiment. So it's been working really, really well.
I see. Actually, um, I didn't like to cook before. And then as a consultant, you always go to restaurants. You have your breakfast and your dinner at the hotel, and it really, really gets boring to go somewhere dine out. So that was the time I realized when I'm at home on the weekends and I'm cooking, it actually relaxes me. So I usually have either my big headphones on and I'm singing crazy stuff or listening to some funny audiobooks, and then I really relax and enjoy cooking. Or when I go out, I go like, this is as usual. Okay, come on, hurry up. Because when I'm in a restaurant, I always get the feeling I'm on my lunch break and I need to hurry. I don't know why. And actually, I bought something that would you say it's like a competitor of KitchenAid. It's a German product. I'm not going to say who it is, but actually, I now have an ice cream machine for it. I can make my own ice cream.
Wow.
Yeah, like cinnamon ice, like gingerbread ice. Um,
Wow.
my small boy of 16 months likes my vanilla ice. Um, and I'm going to experiment quite a lot with all of that stuff. That is going to be really good.
That's like super awesome. I think since the show is about starting and why, you'll hear different stories of different things that that people do, to begin, I guess, and why they do so. I think that's really cool. I'm really excited about it because, like, I think from other shows you'll hear about what they start, how, what, but they don't really question why. And sometimes it brings out the purpose. Sometimes they bring out intentions. And I think that the history part or the her story um, could be different, and it's just really something that we could kind of learn from.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it as well. Right now, we are looking for a few interview guests. We already have a lineup of people who actually requested interviews from my podcast, but actually, I always have to tell them, well, guys, I'm kind of focusing, so everything um, around Germany with some relation to Germany would work. If you're just a startup who wants also to sell products or services in Germany, it usually doesn't work for me because I get like 500 requests a year and I can do usually a maximum of 40 to 50 interviews. So I have to turn down like 90% of the startups.
Yeah, and I have and this one is just more flexible. So and there's two people too, so it'll be a lot easier because I can host them as well when John is cooking and making ice cream, um, so that it kind of takes off the load. And while I'm air frying beef and chicken and veggies, he could be also interviewing.
Well, actually, I also like to shine light on the like spectrum of startups that is out there. I was just recording a startup with a lady who is a children's book author turned
Wow.
entrepreneur because she realized books for blind children are very expensive because there goes a lot of manual work in there because blind children don't know how to read Braille. They only get it taught in school. So basically, there has to be a lot of texture, a lot of different textiles, a lot of different stuff in there. So they actually have an experience there. And she's now going to combine normal books. She has been writing in the past, like The Hedgehog Who Lost Its Spikes. Um, and is doing that with an overlay over the normal picture books with 3D printing, where um, not visually impaired children can actually see the pictures behind the 3D printing, and the blind or visually impaired children can actually touch the 3D printing. It's see-through plastics, and so she can actually combine the picture books for both.
Mhm. That's
That is
awesome.
like the one spectrum, and the other spectrum is like, I'll be a unicorn in 2 days.
Like magic.
Yeah. Ta-da! Magic.
In 2 days, yes, yes. That's awesome though. I think some people could create a unicorn in 2 days. It really depends on, the team and what they're building and everything else.
And some
Like why
people
not?
are just rich enough. They've set up a company, pay in 1 billion of their own money, and ta-da! It's a unicorn one day.
That's true too. That's true. I mean, if you have all the right connections, you just ask your friends to pay for your services. You fund your own company, or your parents fund your own company. Why not?
Yeah, sounds pretty promising. So, guys, if you have an interesting, like, non-conventional startup idea, we also take conventional, but we prefer the non-conventional. Reach out to us. There'll be a link down here in the show notes of your and my LinkedIn profile, and you can just reach out to us. And you can, of course, mail me. But if you want to be a guest, write it in the headline, because I have an AI filter and I get a lot of emails.
The headline would say,
I want to be guest starting Y.
yes, perfect, perfect.
Awesome. So looking forward to talk to you soon and interviewing our first guests.
Yep, me too.
It was a pleasure talking to you. Bye bye.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
So today is Thanksgiving.
oh
We're
yeah,
gonna talk
right.
about, before we go, what we're grateful for. So let's start with you.
Um, having no one who's right now seriously ill in my family, even though my one of my close family members just had a heart surgery, but she recovered well. Having a healthy family, uh, being at home without any worries, having enough food, and a hell lot more that would kind of overstretch the podcast here, but that's the main point.
Yeah, so I'm grateful for this podcast. I think it's going to be fun. I'm grateful for I'm grateful for just having food. Being able to eat healthy. I think I been staying at home this whole year, and going drive through and eating fries every day. I'm just grateful for regular regular food, healthy food. Grateful for healthy family. That everyone is healthy, especially in this time. And three, just having a place to live. Being warm being in the winter. I think I'm pretty
Mm.
grateful for, and having awesome friends. Think people around you who are awesome and nice is a little bit warming and joyful.
Oh, you know what I'm also grateful for? This kitchen machine, because I have a cutting machine. I have a, don't know how you call this, like a setup for cutting potatoes straight into French fries, as well as a pasta machine add on to it. Awesome.
Wow. Wow. I feel like there's going to be a lot of talk of different gadgets, but it's awesome. I mean, I was just looking for a wine opener, and my friend recommended the rabbit from Amazon. So
What rabbit?
it's called the rabbit. It's a wine opener from Amazon. It's like the best wine opener.
Like wine bottles opening?
Yeah, yeah, opening a wine bottle.
In Germany, you now have I'm just showing this to your camera. You now have the wine bottles that you could just turn.
Really?
There's no more cork in it.
Oh yeah, we have carts. So the other day, it was I think it was like my birthday or something, and I bought a bottle of wine.
Your birthday?
I bought a bottle of wine to the office,
Belated
and
happy birthday. Herzlichen
thank
Glückwunsch
you,
zum
thank you,
Geburtstag.
thank you, thank you. I bought a bottle of wine to the office, and when my friend was there, I was like, "Hey, can you open it for me?" And he was just like, he took be, like just like a regular opener, but not the wine opener, and just open it. And it was just so difficult. So I was just laughing, and then, and then I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to I need to get a wine opener. And then one of my friends suggested that the rabbit. It's like, I didn't know that opening a bottle of wine, it was just so difficult. It was so funny.
It's actually getting easier, but I do believe that it has to be a little bit difficult because if you had enough wine, you should not be able to open another bottle.
That's so true. That's so true. But the men are awesome. I mean, they took care of it, and I just put the put the. I just wanted to, a lot of women don't like men. I just wanted to, point that out. That men are awesome. You know. I don't know if you guys heard women complain about men all the time. Oh, my husband is blah blah blah, or my boyfriend is blah blah blah. I'm just like, what are you guys talking about? Men are awesome. Right?
Yes, of course, totally. I'm nodding all the time, but I just realized we have an audio podcast and nobody can see that. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to the next episode. You guys have an awesome Thanksgiving, and the time of being grateful, of course. Enjoy your turkey.
Exactly. Enjoy your turkey. Drink responsible. You know why the wine bottles are that way right now. And thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.